chosen one. Listen carefully. Before the noise of this world tried to define you, before they tried to take your place, before the whispers told you that you were replaceable, heaven had already written your name on a seat no one else can fill. You were not chosen randomly. You were carved out of divine intention, sculpted by purpose, sealed by destiny. When others competed, heaven had already decided. When they auditioned for your role, heaven had already closed the book. You are not a substitute. You are the original. They tried to move you out of position, to silence your voice, to make it seem as if you were forgotten. But what they did not know is that divine reservation cannot be overridden by human manipulation. God Himself wrote your assignment, and no counterfeit can carry the same oil that flows through you. Every time they pushed you aside, heaven whispered, "Be still, for your seat is not up for negotiation." Oh, even now, you can feel that truth stirring in your spirit. You've always known there was something about you, something unexplainable, something too divine for the ordinary world to comprehend. People may have overlooked you, misunderstood you, or tried to imitate you, but imitation never equals inheritance. The anointing that rests upon your life is unique. It carries the fragrance of heaven's approval. That is why certain rooms could not contain you, and certain crowds could not celebrate you. You were not meant to blend in. You were meant to disrupt the atmosphere with the glory of your presence. Chosen one. When they tried to replace you, God smiled. Because how can anyone take what was never meant for them? They could steal positions, manipulate systems, and rewrite names on earthly paper, but the scroll of heaven does not erase divine handwriting. Your name remains inscribed in light. There is a sound in the spirit attached to your assignment. And when heaven calls your name, no counterfeit can answer. You have walked through moments of silence and confusion, wondering why doors closed so suddenly, why opportunities slipped through your hands, and why others seem to succeed in your place. But here is the truth. You were never late. You were being aligned. Every delay was protection. Every detour was direction. You were hidden, not forgotten. When you thought you were being replaced, you were actually being refined for the next level. Even now, heaven whispers again, do not compare your timing to theirs. The world applauds speed, but heaven honors sequence. When God sets a divine appointment, no one can sit in your seat until you arrive. And though they tried to fill it, they discovered it was not built for them. The moment you step back into your rightful position, everything shifts. Because when the chosen one arrives, the atmosphere recognizes authority. You are stepping into a season where every rejection will make sense. The tables are turning, and the very places that once closed their doors to you will open them with trembling hands. This is not coincidence. It is divine choreography. You are walking back into destiny with grace and power, carrying the proof that no one can replace what God has reserved. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." So lift your head, chosen one. The crown still fits. The fire that tried to consume you only purified you. Your seat is waiting. Your name still glows upon it, untouched by time or betrayal. And when you rise to take your place, even the shadows will bow. Every wound you carried was not a mark of defeat. but a seal of authenticity. Those scars are evidence that you survived what was meant to destroy you. Heaven saw every tear, every silent prayer, every moment you almost gave up. Now those same tears will water the soil of your new beginning, and you will rise, radiant. Remember this truth. Chosen one. When God reserves a seat, He also prepares a table. The very ones who mocked you will witness your elevation. They will see how mercy remembers names the world forgets. Step forward with boldness, for your moment is not approaching, it has already arrived. Written in eternal light. If this word has reached your spirit, pause for a moment, breathe, and comment the number 777 below as a prophetic act that you recognize this is your confirmation. Then, like, share, and subscribe, so this message can find the other chosen ones who forgot their name. Your seat is still reserved. There were seasons. Chosen one. When silence became your closest companion, you sat in rooms where your presence was unnoticed, where your voice echoed but found no reply. You watched opportunities slip through your fingers and wondered if heaven had forgotten your name. The waiting seemed endless, and the quiet felt like exile. Yet even in the silence, something sacred was forming beneath the surface. You did not realize it then. But the silence was not neglect, it was preparation. God was not ignoring you, He was insulating you. You were being protected from stages that were too small and people who were too temporary. Every overlooked moment was a classroom of character. Every rejection, a refining of purpose. The seasons when you felt invisible were the ones heaven used to polish the unseen parts of you that applause could never reach. You saw others promoted before you, celebrated for things you had mastered long ago. You clapped for them with a trembling smile, not realizing that your humility was being recorded in eternity. You endured the ache of substitution, others standing in spaces that carried your fingerprint, but what they occupied temporarily, heaven never transferred permanently. God was simply letting time reveal the difference between what is appointed and what is borrowed. The ancient words from the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 9, still carry truth. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. This verse is not comfort in theory, it is a mirror of your story. You thought you were being delayed, but you were being developed. You thought your silence was a setback, but it was actually your setup. God's thoughts were higher, and His plans were stretching far beyond your current comprehension. In those quiet seasons, heaven was testing your posture. Would you stay faithful without recognition? Would you serve without applause? Would you worship without witnesses? The hidden places became the proving ground for authenticity. It was there that you learned to love God for who He is, not for what He gives. It was there that your motives were purified, and your heart became a vessel capable of holding divine weight. You must understand, divine substitution is never permanent. The world may try to replace what it cannot replicate, but heaven guards its originals. The gifts placed inside you were not mass-produced. They were handwritten by God Himself. When others tried to imitate your grace, they found it empty. When they tried to copy your light, they discovered it flickered. Because the oil that flows from endurance cannot be duplicated, it must be earned through intimacy and fire. Every season of silence taught you the art of stillness. While others shouted for attention, You learned how to listen. You began to discern the whisper of God amid the noise of the crowd. You learned to value quiet over chaos, substance over spectacle, and that, chosen one, is why heaven trusted you with delay, because you would not confuse speed with success. Hidden seasons reveal who you are when no one is watching. They strip away performance and polish the soul. They break you open only to fill you again. Stronger, purer, anchored in truth. And though you felt buried, you were only being planted. The soil of silence was nurturing the roots that will sustain your next bloom. Do you remember how heavy that silence felt? The unanswered prayers, the unseen effort, the unacknowledged faithfulness. Yet here you are, still standing. That is proof that what was meant to break you built you instead. Even when heaven seemed quiet, the Spirit was interceding for you in groanings too deep for words. Every tear watered the garden of your destiny, and every sigh became incense before the throne. Those who replaced you are fading now, not because they were evil, but because their season was temporary. The seat they borrowed is empty again, waiting for the one it was shaped for. The silence you endured was God's way of reserving your re-entry. He was rewriting your timing so that when you return, it will not be by striving, but by summons. And now, in hindsight, you can see the mercy in the waiting. If those early doors had opened, they would have swallowed you whole. If those early connections had lasted, they would have poisoned your peace. What felt like abandonment was actually alignment. The silence was God's shield. The hiding was His hand. Chosen one, take comfort in knowing that heaven never wastes time. Every hidden moment carried eternal meaning. The same silence that hurt you is the silence that healed you. The same stillness that made you question everything is the stillness that built your faith. Soon, what once overlooked you will call for you. The same silence that once made you ache will become the peace that guards your rise. You will realize that the quiet was not empty. After all, it was full of divine intention. And when the time comes, the doors will open, not because you knocked louder, but because heaven whispered your name again. You have seen it. Chosen one, the rise of the counterfeits. Those who mimicked your voice, borrowed your ideas, copied your light, and tried to wear what was never meant for them. They moved with arrogance, thinking they had replaced you. But time exposes what imitation cannot sustain. For a while, they may have appeared convincing. They spoke your language, occupied your spaces, and even claimed your blessings. But the difference between performance and purpose is endurance. Only what is born of the Spirit can last under divine fire. You stood silent, watching them ascend, and though part of you wanted to shout, "That was supposed to be me," your spirit knew something deeper. Heaven doesn't build on stolen foundations. You didn't need to defend yourself. Truth was already moving in your direction. When God appoints someone, no counterfeit can hold the throne for long. They can perform, but they cannot persevere. They can copy your form, but not your fire. It is written in the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 12. He frustrates the plans of the crafty, so that the work of their hands will not succeed. Oh no, and that is what is happening right now. Even as you read these words, the ones who schemed behind your back are facing the limits of their own design. Their strength is failing, their favor fading, because stolen crowns are too heavy to wear. What they took in pride will return to you in power. Heaven never forgets authenticity. It rewards endurance. Chosen one. The reason your journey felt so long is because genuine light requires deep roots. Counterfeit favor blooms quickly but dies in drought. Real anointing survives the wilderness. While they rush to be seen, you were learning to be sent. The stage they built was temporary, but the foundation God laid beneath you is eternal. You must understand this. When the counterfeit rises, it only signals that the authentic is near. The enemy mimics what heaven is about to manifest. The false appears first because it fears what is coming next. They tried to replace you because your existence is a threat to every system built on pretense. You have felt the sting of watching others celebrated for what you carried quietly. You wondered if your time had passed, if maybe God had changed his mind about you. But hear this truth in your spirit. Heaven does not revoke what it has anointed. You are still chosen. You are still appointed. You are still the original design. Those who copied you cannot endure the cost attached to your calling. They wanted your crown, but not your cross. They desired your influence, but not your isolation. They craved your light, but never endured your night. And now the exposure has begun. God is allowing truth to surface, not to shame, but to separate. The false will fade, so that the authentic may finally rise. You have been patient long enough. The waiting season is turning into the witnessing season. Soon, those who once mocked you will marvel. The same mouths that spoke against you will have to testify on your behalf. The same tables that excluded you will call for your presence. Because when heaven decides it is time, no counterfeit voice can speak over your destiny. Chosen one. You do not need revenge. You only need revelation. Let God vindicate you in his own rhythm. When he lifts you, it will be undeniable. You won't have to announce your return. Your light will do it for you. What they tried to bury will bloom right in front of them, and every imitation will dissolve in the brilliance of truth. Take this as a sign. Your restoration is already in motion. Heaven is shifting the balance back into divine order. Everything that was stolen, diminished, or distorted is being corrected. You are stepping into divine compensation, where every false narrative is reversed, and every replacement is removed. Your silence was your strategy. Your endurance was your evidence. And now, your comeback will be your confirmation. The stage that once showcased the counterfeit will soon reveal the authentic. The audience may be the same, but the story will change. The one they thought was finished will rise again, carrying the seal of heaven's approval. Comment below. Truth stands. Because when you declare it, you are not just typing words, you are activating agreement. You are reminding heaven that you still believe in divine justice. You are declaring that no lie, no imitation, no manipulation can overthrow the promise written over your life. Stand firm. Chosen one. The false has reached its limit. The genuine is emerging. The light that cannot be faked is returning to its rightful bearer, you. And this time, no one will ever question who you are again. There came a time, chosen one, when you mistook hiding for rejection. You felt forgotten, tucked away while others were being celebrated. But heaven was not withholding from you, it was protecting you. God hides what he values most. Diamonds are not found in open fields. They are formed deep in pressure and darkness. And so it was with you. You saw others step forward, shining in the public eye, while you were kept behind the curtain. But what you did not see was that their exposure came before their endurance. God was sparing you from visibility before you were fully fortified. You were hidden because your light was sacred, not because it was small. Chosen one. You must understand that divine concealment is never punishment, it is preparation. There are dimensions of calling that require solitude. The noise of the crowd cannot teach discernment. Only silence can do that. While others rushed ahead, you were learning to hear God's whisper. While they built platforms, you built roots. And roots always outlast applause. Hidden seasons are holy seasons. They strip away the need to prove yourself and teach you to rely only on the approval of heaven. In the quiet, you learn the rhythm of divine timing. You realize that success without substance is a slow collapse, but preparation in private leads to strength in public. What God builds in secret, no one can destroy in sight. During those silent nights, when you thought nothing was happening, heaven was actually busy on your behalf. The angels were rearranging circumstances, aligning hearts, and preparing the path that your feet would one day walk. The delay was not a detour, it was the sculpting of your destiny. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Even in the moments you felt abandoned, He was there closer than your breath, working silently, watching you mature into the vessel He could trust. The hiding was never about withholding opportunities. It was about ensuring that when the opportunity came, you would have the capacity to carry it. The world measures success by exposure, but heaven measures it by endurance. What looks like delay to man is often divine defense. There were rooms you were never meant to enter, stages you were not supposed to stand on, partnerships you were protected from. God saw the traps behind the invitations and the motives beneath the smiles. And though it hurt to be excluded, heaven's no was mercy in disguise. You see, chosen one, the hidden seasons are where strength is born. You learned how to pray when no one clapped. You learned how to believe when no one agreed. You learned how to keep walking when no one watched. And now that kind of faith cannot be shaken. The storms that took others out will not move you because you were trained in turbulence. There were times when you questioned if the promise had expired. You looked at your reflection and wondered if maybe you misunderstood the calling. But purpose doesn't fade with time. It matures. Like fine oil, it becomes more potent the longer it rests. You were never forgotten, you were fermenting in favor. Even the silence was prophetic. Every day you felt unseen. Heaven was building weight within you, because when the appointed moment arrives, the world will not just see you, they will feel the presence you carry. The power of hidden seasons is that they make your unveiling undeniable. When you emerge, no one will doubt that it was God who raised you. Think of Moses in the desert, Elijah by the brook, or David tending sheep, each hidden before their unveiling. The pattern of heaven never changes. Concealment before commissioning, refinement before revelation. You, too, were in that divine sequence. So do not despise the years of silence. They were sacred training grounds. Every unanswered prayer was a lesson in patience. Every closed door was a shield. Every tear was watering the soil of your future. You were not waiting in vain. You were being fortified for permanence. When the time comes, Your emergence will not require announcement. Heaven itself will introduce you. The same God who hid you will reveal you, and those who once forgot your name will hear it again, this time carried on the wind of divine remembrance. Until then, remain steady. Do not rush the process. The light that burns too fast soon fades, but the flame refined in hiding burns eternally. Trust the silence, for it is the language of preparation. You are hidden, not forgotten, preserved, not passed over, guarded, not rejected. And when heaven decides it is time, the world will finally understand what the wilderness was producing all along: an unshakable, unstoppable, God-chosen one. There are moments, chosen one, when doors slam, so suddenly it feels as though heaven itself has turned its face away. You stood before opportunities that seemed perfect, doors painted in gold, gleaming with promise, and yet, before you could step through, they shut in your face. You knocked, prayed, waited, and still, silence answered back. But what if those closed doors were not rejections, but divine shields? What if heaven was saying, "Not that one, there is something greater waiting beyond it"? And, you see, every no from heaven is an act of mercy dressed as disappointment. Sometimes God must protect you from premature access. The wrong door can destroy a right destiny. The wrong crowd can corrupt a pure calling. The wrong platform can magnify wounds instead of wisdom. And so, God, who knows the hearts of men and the timing of purpose, lets the door close with a firm hand. At first, you resisted. You wondered why others walked easily through doors that stayed locked for you. But divine timing is not a race, it is choreography. Every step, every pause, every delay is part of heaven's perfect dance. When the door shut, it was not rejection, it was redirection. When the opportunity faded, it was because you were being guided to something eternal. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And stillness, chosen one, is not inactivity. It is trust. It is the sacred pause between promise and fulfillment. It is standing at the threshold of disappointment, refusing to move until heaven gives the signal, because what God opens, no man can shut, and what he shuts, no man can pry open. Think of it like this: a door closed on you because there was fire behind it. You didn't see the flames, but heaven did. You saw the light and thought it was favor, but it was destruction disguised as opportunity. God blocked it to spare your future. He knew that one wrong connection could detour your destiny, that one impulsive step could fracture your foundation. The very thing you thought you lost was the thing that could have broken you. And so, in His mercy, He let you stand in the hallway a little longer. Hallways are hard, aren't they? They are tight, quiet, and full of uncertainty. You see others walking confidently into their rooms while you are left holding faith with trembling hands. But hallways are sacred spaces too. They are where humility takes root, where character grows deep, where trust becomes unshakable. Beloved, the next door that opens will not require you to knock it, will swing open by divine command. It will not demand compromise, manipulation, or exhaustion. It will fit your soul like a tailor-made garment, designed for your exact measure. And when you walk through, you'll realize why every no before this one was necessary. Maybe you're standing in that hallway now, between what was and what's next, wondering if heaven forgot you. But listen carefully. The silence you hear is not abandonment. It's construction. The door you are meant to walk through is being carved specifically for your hand. The handle, the hinge, the very threshold, it all carries your name. Sometimes, when God delays, it's because He's not only preparing the door but also strengthening the one who must walk through it. You are being fortified for the weight of answered prayer. The next door won't just open, it will stay open. And when that happens, you will look back and thank God for every slammed door, every delayed opportunity, every seemingly wasted season, because each one was a guardrail keeping you from disaster and leading you toward destiny. Now, as you receive this word, take a moment to reflect. If this message has stirred something deep in you, if you feel the truth of it pulsing in your chest, I invite you gently, like a friend speaking to another traveler, to help keep this light alive. When you like, you're not just pressing a button, you're agreeing with heaven's echo. When you share, you're scattering seeds of faith into someone else's storm. When you subscribe, you're joining a circle of chosen ones, walking this same narrow road together. And if your heart moves you to donate, know this, it's not payment for words, but partnership in purpose. Every gift helps carry these messages further, to reach those who are still sitting outside locked doors, thinking they've been forgotten. You are part of this divine ripple. Your small act today could be the spark that reignites another soul's hope. So breathe. Chosen one, trust again. The doors that closed were never meant to destroy you. They were heaven's way of guiding you home. And soon, you'll see that the hallway was not a prison, it was a bridge. Every step you took in the dark was leading you closer to the light, waiting on the other side. There is a shaking happening around you. Chosen one, what was once hidden is now being revealed. The masks are slipping. The truth is surfacing. And the schemes that once seemed solid are beginning to fracture. Those who stood in false authority, who smiled with deceit in their hearts, are being unmasked, not by your effort, but by divine exposure. Heaven is pulling back the curtain, and every hidden motive is meeting the light of truth. You do not need to defend yourself anymore. The season of explanation is over. God Himself is revealing what was done in darkness. For too long, you were misunderstood, accused, or misrepresented by those who feared your light. They thought if they spoke loud enough, they could rewrite your story. But heaven has a louder voice. Truth is rising, not as a whisper, but as thunder. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 37, verse 6. He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, the justice of your cause like the noonday sun. This is what's happening now. What was spoken against you is losing its power. The lies that once held weight are dissolving in the light of divine justice. God does not expose to shame you, He exposes to restore you. He is clearing your name, cleansing your path, and lifting the veil that kept truth hidden. Chosen one, exposure is not revenge, it is redemption. It is heaven's way of restoring balance. Every manipulation, every betrayal, every quiet sabotage that tried to delay your destiny is now being brought to the surface. You do not need to fight dirty battles. Truth is your defender, and the light is your advocate. You may feel the tension of this moment, the sudden unraveling of things once stable, the shaking of relationships and alliances. Don't fear the collapse. Sometimes God must dismantle false structures before he can rebuild authentic ones. Let the exposure come. Let the truth breathe. What falls in this season was never meant to stand beside you. Remember how long you endured silently. You carried wounds that no one acknowledged, stood through storms no one saw, and chose grace when others chose gossip. And now, heaven rewards restraint. The same mouths that accused you will have to admit they were wrong. The same eyes that overlooked you will witness your vindication. You must not gloat when the truth unfolds. Keep your spirit clean. Stand still, humble yet firm, knowing that this is not about punishment, but purification. God is cleansing the atmosphere around you, so your next elevation will not be contaminated. Every false alliance must crumble. Every deceptive motive must be revealed, because the next season requires clarity. You will begin to notice subtle signs. People who once avoided you suddenly quiet. Circumstances shifting in your favor. Opportunities reopening that were once closed. It's not coincidence, it's consequence. Heaven is honoring your integrity. The truth is, setting the record straight without you having to speak a word. Chosen one, you have passed the test of silence. You proved that your faith was not performance but posture. You chose righteousness over retaliation. And that choice has summoned heaven's defense. You are walking into a season where truth becomes your announcement. The exposure of the unchosen is not your victory, it's heaven's. It is the divine reminder that no one can prosper through deceit. They tried to steal your seat, but they could not sustain what was never theirs. The oil they envied cannot be duplicated, and the grace they imitated cannot be counterfeited. Do not let bitterness creep in. When God exposes, it is always to heal what was broken. The light that reveals also restores. Some of those who betrayed you will repent. Others will drift away. Do not chase. Do not resent. Do not cling. Let the flow of divine order separate what no longer serves your journey. And when you see truth revealed, bow your head and whisper gratitude, not because others fell, but because mercy prevailed. God has proven again that he fights for his chosen ones. So breathe deeply. The air is clearing. The weight is lifting. The false is fading. And the real is rising. You no longer have to look over your shoulder or defend your name. Heaven has done what your hands could not. If this resonates in your spirit, if you sense that God is right now, untangling lies that once surrounded you, pause. Feel that divine peace washing over your chest, and, as a prophetic act, comment the number 555 below. It symbolizes divine realignment and restoration. It is your declaration that the truth is prevailing, that balance is returning, that heaven has taken control. Let the number be your seal, a reminder that though they tried to hide you in lies, truth has found you, cleansed you, and crowned you anew. There comes a moment, chosen one, when every imitation reaches its breaking point. The hands that once grasped what was yours begin to tremble, because the strength they borrowed cannot last forever. Counterfeit crowns always crumble, for they were forged in ambition, not anointing. Those who tried to carry what was never theirs now feel the weight they once mocked. Their borrowed confidence begins to crack under the pressure of divine exposure. You have seen it before, people who rose quickly, loudly, boldly, yet vanished just as swiftly. They tried to hold the light, but light exposes what is false. The anointing they envied became the fire that revealed their emptiness. They mimicked your words, your ways, even your faith. But imitation cannot sustain what only revelation can birth. The oil you carry costs what they were never willing to pay. Chosen one, understand this. The breaking point of the imitators is not your revenge, it is your release. You no longer need to look back, trying to prove that you were the original. Heaven is doing that for you. Every false structure, every pretense, every illusion that was raised against your name is collapsing under divine gravity. God does not need your help to expose what he never built. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me." That promise still stands. The weapons were formed, but they failed. The words were spoken, but they withered. The plans were plotted, but they collapsed. The breaking you are witnessing now is proof that God's justice does not sleep. Even when it seemed like lies had won, heaven was already writing your restoration. You have been through seasons where betrayal felt like suffocation. You trusted faces that smiled while they plotted your fall. You gave your best to those who only wanted to use your light for their own gain. Yet even in your pain, you remained kind, steadfast, faithful. That posture has preserved you. The purity of your heart became your shield. And now the season of pretenders is ending. The platforms built on manipulation are shaking. Those who thrived on deceit are being confronted by the truth they tried to bury. It is not your job to celebrate their downfall. Your calling is to rise quietly above it. What is falling apart around you is simply making space for what is divinely appointed to rise. Remember, the counterfeit always breaks before the authentic is revealed. The pressure that destroys imitation only polishes the genuine. The fire that consumes straw refines gold. You, chosen one, are that gold. What tried to replace you has already proven it cannot last. Because the anointing that sustains you is not inherited from men but breathed from heaven. Sometimes, God allows the imitators to rise for a season, not to humiliate you, but to expose the difference. Their rise becomes your contrast. Their fall becomes your confirmation. The breaking point of the imitators is the unveiling point of the authentic. There is peace in letting go of vengeance. You do not need to track their downfall or watch their exposure. Keep your eyes forward. Focus on the call ahead. The noise of their collapse cannot distract the one who is walking in divine alignment. Every time the counterfeit crumbles, the real becomes more radiant. You will know this season by the sound it makes, not the sound of chaos, but of chains breaking. The atmosphere itself is shifting. You may feel it as sudden clarity, a weight lifting, a sense that what once pressed against you has finally let go. That is the sound of imitation reaching its end. Do not fear the breaking. It is not meant to harm you. It is heaven removing what no longer belongs near you. The separation that feels painful is sacred. The people leaving are those who cannot follow where you're going next. The breaking point of others is the birthing point of your new season. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. You are not the one breaking. You are the one being revealed. The shaking around you is heaven's confirmation that the foundation beneath you is strong enough for the next glory. Do not rush. Do not gloat. Do not look back. Just stand still and know that the truth has done its work. What once imitated you will now have to witness you. What once mocked you will now have to honor you. And what once tried to replace you will fade into the background. Because no counterfeit can compete with divine design. This is your moment of quiet victory, unannounced, unstoppable, undeniable. There are seasons. Chosen one. When the fire feels relentless, when you look around and everything familiar seems to be falling apart. The dreams you nurtured are tested. The relationships you depended on are strained. And even your confidence trembles under the weight of uncertainty. This is your refining fire season. It does not come to destroy you, it comes to reveal you. You see, the refining fire is heaven's way of separating what is divine from what is merely decorative. It burns away attachments, illusions, and fears that cannot survive in the next level of your calling. It exposes motives, refines your faith, and forges resilience where weakness once lived. Nothing about this fire is wasted. It is purposeful, precise, and sacred. You may not recognize it now, but this fire is your friend. It is burning away what was never meant to stay. The people who left, the plans that failed, the doors that closed, all of it is fuel for your transformation. The heat you feel is heaven molding you into strength. For a goldsmith, the proof of purity is not in how beautiful the gold looks, but in how it withstands the flame. You, too, are a being purified, as the prophet wrote in the scroll of Malachi. Chapter 3, verse 3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. Then the Lord will have men who will bring offerings in righteousness. And that is exactly what God is doing with you. He is sitting close, so close that he can see his reflection forming in you. The pain you feel is not abandonment. It is the gentle hand of a refiner who refuses to let you settle for less than his image. When the heat rises, it is because he sees more to be shaped, more to be revealed. The refining fire doesn't come for comfort, it comes for character. It teaches patience when you want speed, humility when you crave recognition, and endurance when you long for escape. In the furnace, you learn what words cannot teach. Trust that endures beyond emotion. Chosen one. Your tears are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of transformation. The fire reveals who you are becoming. When you pray and feel nothing. When you serve and see no reward. When you love and receive silence. That is where faith matures. The unseen process is often the holiest part. Every flame that touches you has been measured by heaven. Not 1 degree too high. Not 1 moment too long. The God who called you into this fire will also call you out of it. And when you emerge, nothing about you will be the same. The parts of you that once feared rejection will be fearless. The wounds that once bled with disappointment will become sources of wisdom. Look closer at your story. You've already survived fires that should have consumed you. Every trial has shaped your endurance. Every betrayal has purified your motives. You may not have realized it, but even your heartbreak was a furnace of divine construction. You have been tempered like steel, made flexible enough to bend, but too strong to break. When people see you again, they will see light in your eyes they cannot name. They will sense authority in your voice they cannot imitate. because the fire has marked you. You will carry the scent of someone who has walked through flames and come out glowing in the fire. God also burns away comparison. You stop measuring your progress by others' timelines. You stop chasing validation that was never designed for you. The refining process strips everything until all that remains is pure identity. You no longer ask, "Why me?" You begin to understand. It had to be me. No, do not resist this season. The sooner you surrender, the sooner the process completes. You will not live in the fire forever. It is a temporary furnace producing eternal glory. The same flames that burn the chaff will refine the chosen, so rest in the heat. Let it do its holy work. When this is over, you won't just be stronger, you'll be radiant. The scars will shine as evidence that grace stood with you inside the fire. And when you walk out, the world will know you were not destroyed, you were defined. The shift is happening. Chosen one, what was hidden is about to be heard. And what was whispered in private is about to be declared from the mountaintop. Heaven is releasing the divine announcement. The silence that once surrounded your name is breaking into sound. It is not the sound of noise, but of recognition, an echo of heaven proclaiming that your season of concealment has ended. Every delay, every denial, every detour was leading to this moment. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven was rehearsing your unveiling. You were not being silenced, you were being staged. And now, at the appointed time, the same world that once ignored you will have to witness your divine reveal. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. There is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me and to all who love him. Chosen one. The crown prepared for you has waited patiently through the years of your testing. Heaven does not rush coronations. It waits until endurance matures and faith is refined. And now, the moment heaven has kept sealed is unfolding before your eyes. The divine announcement is not coming through human validation. It is coming through divine vindication. You may not hear trumpets or crowds, but you will feel it. The air will shift around you. Doors that refuse to open will suddenly swing wide. Conversations will change tone when your name is mentioned. The same people who once dismissed you will now remember you with honor, not because you forced it, but because heaven has spoken. When God announces a thing, no opposition can silence it. The words, once used to mock you, will now become testimonies of how wrong they were. Every lie will lose its sound. Every false narrative will crumble under the weight of truth. Heaven's decree will echo louder than human accusation. You will notice it happening subtly at first, messages coming from people who once avoided you. Unexpected invitations. Favor, reawakening, in places you thought were closed forever. It's not random. It's divine alignment. This is what happens when heaven makes an announcement. Everything that belongs to you starts to find you again. Do not fear the attention that follows this announcement. You've already been prepared for it. The humility forged in hidden seasons will keep you grounded, while others marvel. You will walk in power, but with grace, in authority, but without arrogance. You will carry the presence of one who has been through the fire and learned stillness in the storm. And as your name begins to surface again, remember, this is not just about recognition. It's about restoration. God is reintroducing you, not as who you were, but as who you have become. The world saw your fall, but they will now see your resurrection. The same hands that once pointed in accusation will now lift in awe. Chosen one. The divine announcement does not make you better than others. It simply marks that your time has arrived. Every season of silence has reached its conclusion. Every hidden seed is breaking through the soil. You are stepping into visibility, not for vanity, but for impact. You were hidden so that your unveiling would carry weight. Do not rush to speak. Let the fruit speak for you. Let your transformation preach louder than your words. Those who once doubted will not need convincing. The evidence will be undeniable. You are standing in the hour of manifestation. Heaven's announcement has already been issued in the Spirit, and now it is unfolding in the natural. Every force that tried to silence you will have to bear witness to your restoration. So breathe deeply. Chosen one, feel the shift. The silence is over. The season of being unseen has served its purpose. Now, heaven calls your name again, not as a whisper, but as a declaration. Comment below. I hear heaven. Let that be your agreement, your sign of alignment. It's not just a phrase, it's a prophetic act. You are affirming that you recognize the sound of your season changing, that you hear the divine announcement echoing in your spirit. When you write those words, you are sealing this revelation with faith, declaring that heaven's decree will not pass you by. The announcement has been made. Chosen one, step forward. The world is about to see what heaven has always known. There is something sacred about realization. Chosen one, when your spirit finally understands what your heart has always felt. Your seat was never vacant. The position others tried to claim, the space they tried to occupy, was never theirs to keep. It was reserved, held under divine decree, waiting patiently for your return. Even when you thought you had lost it, heaven whispered, "No one can sit there but you." Oh, you see, the throne of purpose doesn't operate like earthly systems. There are no substitutes in destiny, no alternates in divine assignment. The seat crafted for you bears your spiritual imprint, the shape of your obedience, the weight of your prayers, the echo of your endurance. When others tried to sit there, the space rejected them. Heaven itself grew restless because something sacred was out of alignment. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 16, "So the last will be first, and the first will be last." Those who rushed ahead of you may have looked like they succeeded for a moment, but their acceleration was premature. Divine order cannot be forced, it unfolds. And now, in perfect timing, God is repositioning you not as a replacement, but as rightful heir. The seat has been kept warm by grace, waiting for your return. Think of a garden. Chosen one, every flower blooms in its own time. If one tries to bloom before its roots are ready, the sun will wither it. But when the soil is rich and the roots are deep, the bloom lasts through every season. You are that kind of bloom, one prepared by patience, strengthened by hidden seasons, and ready now to unfold in fullness. Your absence was not abandonment, it was preservation. God was holding your seat until you had grown into the strength to occupy it fully. Had you stepped into it too early, you might have mistaken position for purpose, applause for anointing. But now you understand, the seat is not a reward, it is a responsibility. When you walk back into your space, Do not rush to reclaim it with pride. Sit gently. Breathe. And remember who preserved it for you. Heaven didn't just reserve the seat, it sustained the system around it, so it would still exist when you returned. The same grace that kept you hidden also kept your opportunity alive. This realization should humble you, not inflate you, because you now see how fragile destiny would be without divine protection. You understand that favor without preparation leads to collapse, but waiting under grace leads to endurance. Beloved, if these words touch something deep within you, if you sense the truth unfolding, like light in your spirit, pause for a moment. This is not merely storytelling, this is sacred remembering. And as you feel this confirmation stirring, consider how you can help keep these messages alive. When you like, it's more than agreement, it's alignment. You're saying, yes, I recognize this voice, this truth belongs to me. When you share, it's not for numbers or fame, it's the act of scattering divine seeds into the soil of someone else's waiting season. You never know who is sitting in silence right now, wondering if their seat is gone. When you subscribe, you are not joining a list, you are joining a movement of awakened hearts. A family of chosen ones who refuse to give up on their divine place. You're saying, I will keep walking with light. And if your heart feels led to donate, understand that your offering is not a transaction, it is a torch. It fuels the words that reach the weary, the forgotten, the ones sitting in hallways of doubt. Your gift is a ripple that keeps truth moving through the digital wilderness, where so many souls wander without direction. Every act, no matter how small, becomes a thread in this tapestry of purpose. Together, we are rebuilding faith in spaces the world said were impossible. Your seat, chosen one, is not just about you, it is about every life that will be touched once you sit in it. The world doesn't need another star, it needs a steady flame. You are that flame, and your place, your calling, your purpose was never at risk. So, walk with peace. Sit in your seat without apology. The reservation still bears your name, engraved in light that cannot fade. The years you thought were wasted were simply the time heaven needed to prepare the throne. And when you rest in that truth, gratitude will flow from your heart like living water. Every moment, every tear, every silence, it was all worth it. The seat was never taken. It was always waiting for you. When restoration comes, chosen one, it does not come quietly. It moves like a tide, washing away the dust of delay, carrying back what once drifted from your hands. You can feel it already, the subtle shift in the air, the invisible pull of alignment. This is the season where what was taken is being returned, where what was broken is being rebuilt. It is the return of the rightful one. You are stepping into places that once rejected you, not by striving, not by explanation, but by divine orchestration. The same ground that pushed you out now makes space for your feet. The same systems that ignored your voice now make room for your sound. You are not returning as the same person who left. You are coming back refined, wiser, anchored. What once dismissed you will now depend on you, because heaven has rewritten your placement in the order of things. This is not revenge, it is restoration. God does not send you back to humiliate others, He sends you back to demonstrate His faithfulness. The glory of this moment is not about triumph over people, but testimony of process. You endured the darkness. You remained faithful through silence. And now, heaven honors endurance with visibility. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, still echo today. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. And everything you thought was wasted has found its place in this divine weaving. Every no, every betrayal, every lonely night, they were all threads in a tapestry you could not yet see. What felt like detours were really divine directions. Every time you were delayed, heaven was aligning something bigger behind the scenes. And now the moment has come when everything that once seemed scattered begins to connect. The doors open easily. The words flow freely. And what used to take all your strength now comes effortlessly. It is not because the work has changed. It is because you have. You are walking in grace, not grinding for approval. You have learned the rhythm of divine timing. And now, creation itself recognizes your frequency. Chosen one. Your return will not need to be announced. You will simply arrive, and the atmosphere will shift. People will feel something different when you speak an authority that cannot be imitated, a peace that cannot be faked. They may not understand it, but they will sense it. The oil of endurance cannot be hidden. It carries the fragrance of heaven's touch. There will be moments of quiet awe. Faces that once looked away will turn toward you, not because of pride, but because of presence. You will carry the weight of one who has seen both wilderness and promise and knows how to walk with balance. You will not seek revenge, for you will have outgrown it. You will not boast, for you will understand how fragile honor can be. You will simply stand, steady, grateful, radiant with purpose. Do not be surprised if old places feel unfamiliar. You have changed too much to fit where you once were. You may find yourself speaking differently, thinking differently, seeing differently. That is the fruit of transformation. Some will notice and whisper. Others will not understand how you became this version of yourself. But that is what happens when heaven restores. It never returns you as the same person who left. The return of the rightful one is not just about position, it's about posture. You no longer walk with the anxiety of proving yourself. You walk with the quiet confidence of one who knows they belong. You no longer fear being forgotten because you have learned that destiny cannot be deleted. The peace that follows this kind of restoration is different. It's deep, stable, and unshakable. Even creation recognizes when divine order is restored. You will feel it in how your days begin to align, how your ideas flow, how opportunities meet you without struggle. The spiritual atmosphere around you clears because the one meant to occupy that space has returned. There is no need to hurry this moment. Let it unfold naturally. Let the evidence of restoration speak louder than words. People will watch, wonder, and finally realize it was always meant to be you. And in the stillness of your heart, you will hear heaven whisper, "Welcome back." No, the seat feels different now, not because it changed, but because you did. You carry more wisdom, more humility, more light. You know what it means to be chosen, not for recognition, but for responsibility. And as you rest in this new season, remember, your return is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of purpose, fulfilled. It is almost poetic. Chosen one. How the tables turn when heaven moves. The same voices that once dismissed you now fall silent in awe. The ones who thought you were finished are now forced to watch as God writes a new chapter over your life, one that no human hand can edit. The shock of those who replaced you is not punishment, but revelation. They are now seeing what you knew in faith all along. You cannot replace the chosen. When God lifts someone, He does it in such a way that no one can take credit. No manipulation, nor alliance. No network can explain it. It leaves people speechless because it carries the fingerprint of heaven, subtle, Zopherein, and unstoppable. The elevation that is happening around you now is not loud. It is graceful. It flows like water, washing away the residue of every false narrative that was ever spoken over you. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 30, there is no wisdom, nor insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. No, this is why no amount of plotting could permanently hold you back. The plans that tried to replace you were flawed from the beginning because they lacked divine approval. Every counterfeit crown has now slipped from false heads, and every seat that was filled by imitation has been emptied by truth. Those who once whispered, "You'll never rise again," now whisper another sentence, "How did it happen?" They look for logic, for strategy, for explanation, but there is none, because this is not strategy, it's sovereignty. Heaven has a way of reversing the order when the time is right. You see, chosen one, God's vindication does not come with bitterness, it comes with brilliance. The light of your return is so radiant that even those who doubted must acknowledge its source. Some will try to align with you again, hoping to share in your favor. Others will quietly step aside, knowing they mishandled grace when it stood before them. Let both responses teach you something about discernment. Do not harden your heart. Forgiveness is your freedom. You don't need to confront those who replaced you. Your restoration is confrontation enough. The peace you carry now will speak louder than the pain that once silenced you. But understand this, elevation changes perspective. When you rise, you see differently. You no longer look at people through the lens of revenge. You see them through mercy. You realize that some of them had to try to replace you so that the truth could be revealed. Their actions became your training. Their betrayal became your bridge. Chosen one. This moment is sacred. The world calls it success, but heaven calls it redemption. You are not being exalted for display. You are being restored for destiny. What is happening to you now is not about fame or power. It is about purpose. You are being positioned to influence without ego, to lead without losing your humility. When they see you now, they will see a glow they cannot name. It is the radiance of one who has walked through loss without losing faith, who has been pressed but not crushed. You will move with a gentleness that confuses pride, a strength that does not shout but cannot be denied. There will be eyes that follow you in wonder, not because of your appearance, but because of your peace. People sense authenticity even before they understand it. And when they ask how you endured, you will smile and simply say, "Grace kept me," because it did. Heaven has turned the story. The stone they rejected has indeed become the cornerstone, and now everything that once looked like an ending reveals itself as a setup for greater beginnings. Chosen one, take a deep breath and feel the stillness of this vindication. You no longer need to defend yourself. You no longer need to prove that you were called. The evidence is alive in your presence. Every step you take now is prophecy fulfilled. And if you can feel this shift, If your spirit recognizes that this word mirrors your season, then let this be your sign. Type Arba Meot Arba'im Ve'arba below. It is not superstition. It is symbolic alignment. It represents divine stability, the restoration of balance, the solid ground after the storm. When you comment that number, you are declaring, I am grounded in my purpose. I stand firm in divine order. Oh, this act is not for me. It is for you. It is your moment to say, I see it now. I am not waiting for approval. I have it from heaven itself. Oh, so stand tall. The shock around you is proof of your authenticity. The very ones who tried to replace you now serve as witnesses to your return. And the world will know what God reserves. No one can replace. There is a holy symmetry to how heaven restores. Chosen one. What was once stripped from you returns not merely in measure, but in multiplication. You are walking into a season of divine compensation where every loss carries an upgrade, and every scar becomes a signature of survival. The restoration of honor is not a poetic idea. It is a spiritual reality unfolding before you. Heaven remembers every humiliation, every false accusation, every tear shed in silence, and transforms each one into evidence of glory. It begins subtly. Favor finds you in unexpected places. People who once overlooked you begin to seek your wisdom. Invitations appear where doors were once slammed. The energy shifts. You no longer chase opportunity. Opportunity recognizes your fragrance and comes to you. It is not coincidence. It is divine mathematics. Heaven never forgets an obedient heart. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 11. You turned my mourning into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy. No, this is exactly what God is doing now, changing garments, replacing heaviness with holiness. Where there was once grief, there is grace. Where shame once sat heavily on your shoulders, now rests dignity. The robe of sorrow is being exchanged for the mantle of honor. Restoration is not simply returning what was lost. It is revealing what was hidden within the loss. The things that broke you also built you. The disappointments that made you weep also deepened your discernment. The seasons of rejection taught you authenticity. Now, when honor returns, you will carry it differently, without pride, without fear, without dependency. Chosen one. You once prayed for recognition, but now you crave righteousness. You have grown beyond needing validation from people. You have learned to find it in presence. That is the beauty of divine maturity. It detaches you from applause and roots you in assignment. Honor restored after humiliation feels different. It is not loud, it is luminous. It does not seek revenge, it radiates peace. You walk differently, not because you need to prove anything, but because you have survived everything. The same ground where you once fell now supports your rise. The same voices that gossiped about you now echo your name with reverence. The same storms that tried to drown you now announce your strength. The restoration of honor comes with stillness. You do not need to rush it, manipulate it, or broadcast it. It unfolds naturally, like sunrise over the mountains, inevitable and breathtaking. The light returns slowly at first, and then suddenly the darkness is gone. That is how heaven restores. It takes its time until everything looks as though it was always meant to be. There will be moments when you pause and realize, this is what peace feels like. not the absence of struggle, but the presence of purpose. The same spaces that once made you anxious now feel sacred. You will realize that the journey wasn't about proving your worth, it was about remembering it. When God restores honor, He does not consult those who dishonored you. He simply decides, and everything shifts accordingly. The people who once spoke against you will find themselves speaking for you without understanding why. It is the mystery of divine reversal, heaven rewriting human opinion. And yet, with all this restoration, your heart remains tender. You have no bitterness left, only gratitude. You no longer ask, "Why me?" but whisper, "Thank you for trusting me." Because now you see how every valley prepared you for this view. You understand why it had to hurt, why it had to take time, why you had to be hidden. The weight of glory requires a spine of humility, and the fire of honor demands a heart that has known breaking. Look at how you stand now, steady, sure, softened, but strong. You no longer fear being misunderstood. Because truth has vindicated you, you no longer crave revenge. Because grace has already balanced the scales. You are living proof that God can take the ashes of humiliation and form crowns from their dust. And this restoration is not temporary. It will not fade when the applause fades. It will not depend on circumstance. It is anchored in something eternal, the unshakable decision of God that you are chosen, seen, and secured. When people see you now, they will see resilience wrapped in gentleness, power clothed in peace. You will not need to say a word. Your presence will preach for you. The way you forgive will reveal the depth of your transformation. The way you serve, even after betrayal, will show how heaven refines, not hardens, its chosen ones. Honor restored does not make you untouchable. It makes you undeniable. And the ones who once replaced your name with theirs will quietly remember they borrowed what they could never own. This is your season of restoration, not for revenge, but for revelation that the God who watched you break has now chosen to display you as proof of His grace. There is a sound rising in the Spirit. Chosen one, a sound of recognition. It is not loud or chaotic, but clear and resonant, like the toll of a bell in a quiet valley. It announces not your arrival, but your acknowledgement. Your name, once erased, is being spoken again. The same circles that dismissed you now whisper about you with reverence. The same voices that ignored your presence are suddenly remembering what they tried to forget. This is the sound of divine remembrance. Heaven is causing your name to echo where it once fell silent. Every place where you sowed in faith, every space where you served unseen, every field where you planted without applause, those fields are now beginning to sing. The harvest is calling your name. The fruit of your endurance is announcing itself, as the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." And the delay is over. The appointed time has arrived. What was promised is now presenting itself. This is not a sudden blessing. It is the ripening of what has long been maturing beneath the surface. Your faith has not been wasted. It has been working. Your prayers were never lost in the wind. They were gathering strength in silence. Recognition from heaven does not look like fame. It looks like fulfillment. It manifests as doors opening at the right time, favor meeting you in the right places, and peace surrounding you in ways you cannot explain. It is as if the universe itself begins to cooperate with your obedience. The timing, the people, the opportunities, they all converge, forming a harmony that could only be orchestrated by divine hands. You will notice people speaking your name again, but this time with respect. They will recall your faithfulness when others faltered. They will remember your integrity when others compromised. What they once called weakness, they will now call wisdom. The same light they once ignored will become the one they seek to follow. But do not let recognition distract you. It is not the destination, it is confirmation. The sound of your name returning to conversations, the sudden resurfacing of opportunities, they are reminders that heaven has not forgotten you. Yet, your focus must remain upward, not outward. You are not being recognized to be admired, you are being recognized to be assigned. Chosen one. Recognition carries responsibility. The light that reveals also requires discipline. You will be called upon to lead where you once followed, to guide where you once waited, to speak where you once stayed silent. The sound of recognition is the trumpet of new tasks. It calls you higher, deeper, further. You may feel unprepared for this sudden visibility. You have lived in the shadows so long that the light feels almost foreign. But remember, you were not idle in the dark. You were being trained. You learned patience, humility, endurance, the very traits that now qualify you for the platform ahead. Heaven never exposes what it has not equipped. Do not let the admiration of others distract you from the assignment itself. The sound of recognition is not applause, it is alignment. It means the world is catching up to what heaven already knew. It is your time, but it is still his purpose. Walk softly, even as you walk boldly. Let gratitude be your anchor and humility your crown. There will be moments when tears come unexpectedly, not from sadness, but from awe. You will stand in places you once only dreamed of and realize that every delay had a reason. You will look at your reflection and see not just survival, but transformation. You will whisper to yourself, "It was worth it." No, and heaven will answer, "Yes, it was." And for this is what divine recognition feels like, not vanity, but validation from the one who saw you when no one else did. It is the quiet assurance that your faith has not gone unnoticed, that your endurance has not been in vain, and that your name has always been engraved in eternal light. Now, chosen one, stand still and listen. Can you hear it? That sound in the distance, it is your name, spoken not in gossip, not in competition, but in honor. Heaven is echoing your identity back into the world. You are being remembered, not as you were, but as who you have become. Heaven is standing still. Chosen one. The air feels different, heavy with awe, trembling with purpose. The moment has come that all of creation has been waiting for, your coronation. The time of proving has ended. The season of crowning has begun. You are not being rewarded for perfection, but for persistence. Every tear, every trial, every unseen act of faith has brought you to this sacred moment where heaven bends low to honor obedience. When kings are crowned on earth, the world watches in splendor. But when heaven crowns its chosen, the glory is deeper, quieter, radiant from within. It is not jewels that mark this coronation, but light. You will carry it in your eyes, in your voice, in your presence. The anointing upon you will no longer whisper, it will thunder softly, commanding peace wherever you go. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 12, verse 26, "Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me." That is what this moment is about, the Father honoring those who kept following when no one else did. The coronation is not a spectacle. It is the public revelation of what heaven decided in private. You are being crowned, not with power for pride, but with authority for purpose. This crown is not decoration, it is designation. It signifies that your life now carries heavenly weight. Think of how gold is melted before it becomes a crown. You were melted, too refined, stretched, purified. The trials you endured were the furnace. The tears you shed were the waters that cooled the metal. And now, the same fire that once hurt you has become the radiance that surrounds you. Every scar you carry is a jewel in your crown, proof of battles fought and faith sustained. As heaven crowns you, the earth will begin to respond. Opportunities that once ignored you will now pursue you. Doors that refused to open will unlock, as if drawn by unseen hands. You will notice peace walking beside you like a companion. You will not have to strive, explain, or perform. The grace on your life will speak in every space you enter. But remember, chosen one, this crown is not a throne of comfort. It is a call to stewardship, to carry glory with humility, to use influence as service, to lead not through dominance but through devotion. You have been crowned not to be admired, but to illuminate. The light you carry will remind others of their own crowns, still waiting to be discovered. And now, as you feel this truth unfolding inside you, take a breath. Let gratitude rise. This message isn't entertainment. It's a mirror, a reflection of what heaven sees in you. If this word has resonated with you, let this be your gentle moment of connection. When you like, it's as though you lift your hand in quiet agreement, saying, "Yes, I receive this." When you share, it is like lighting a lantern in the night, sending a spark of hope towards someone who has forgotten their worth. There's someone out there right now, scrolling through shadows, who needs to remember their own crown. Your share could be the light that finds them. When you subscribe, it's more than staying connected, it's stepping into a family of torchbearers. You are saying, "I'm part of this kingdom of voices that refuses to let hope go silent." And if your heart ever leads you to donate, do it not as obligation, but as offering. Every gift becomes a seed that helps these messages reach the broken, the waiting, the ones standing on the edge of surrender. You are not funding words, you are fueling awakenings. Finally, before you move on, take a moment to comment below. Tell your story, whisper your gratitude, or simply write what your spirit feels right now. These spaces of reflection are not just threads of text, they are living testimonies woven together, proving that the light of the chosen still burns. In this generation, you are standing beneath heaven's open sky, the light resting upon your head like oil poured from eternity itself. This is your coronation, quiet, radiant, real. Wear the crown gently. Let it remind you not of power, but of purpose. Because the world doesn't need another ruler, it needs a reflection of redemption. And that reflection is you. The crown does not end your journey. Chosen one, It begins the truest part of it. Many believe that coronation is the destination, but in heaven's pattern, it is only the commissioning. You were not crowned to rest, but to rise in service. The mantle you now carry is not for comfort, it is for calling. The seat you fought to reclaim was never meant to make you idle, it was meant to make you useful. This is the hour when you understand that being chosen was never about status, but stewardship. To carry the mantle forward means to walk where others are afraid to go, to love where others have grown cold, to forgive where bitterness once lived. The mark of the chosen is not how high they stand, but how deeply they bow. You have been entrusted with influence, not for your own exaltation, but to become a bridge. There are hearts waiting on the other side of your obedience, people who will find healing through your scars, faith through your story, courage through your calm. You are not here to shine alone. You are here to ignite others. Heaven speaks through the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. He has shown you, O man, what is good. What does the Lord require? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. That is the essence of your mantle: justice, mercy, humility. These are the jewels that will keep your crown from becoming heavy. The mantle you carry is not made of gold, but of compassion. It carries weight, yes, but it also carries warmth. You are being called to move through this world as light clothed in love. Do not let your new visibility distract you from the invisible one who placed you there. The higher you rise, the more deeply you must root yourself in presence. Fame without faith is frail. Influence without intimacy collapses under pressure. But when you stay close to the voice that chose you, your light becomes unshakable. There will be moments when leadership feels lonely. Even surrounded by people, you will sense the quiet burden of responsibility. Do not resent it. It is a sacred solitude where revelation flows, where guidance whispers, where God reminds you that you are still His. The chosen walk narrow paths, not because they are punished, but because they are trusted with direction. Carrying the mantle forward also means enduring misunderstanding. There will be those who misinterpret your motives, who question your silence, who doubt your decisions. But you must remember, you do not answer to applause, you answer to assignment. When God gives you instructions, others may not understand them because they were not in the room when He whispered, "Move in obedience." Even when it is quiet, act with grace. Even when unthanked, lead by example. Even when unseen, heaven measures greatness not by noise, but by nurture. To carry this mantle is to walk daily in gentleness, strength, and wisdom that does not boast. The world will test your humility. It will tempt you to use your light for recognition, to speak when silence would be holier. Guard your heart. Every crown carries the risk of pride, but you have already learned the cost of disobedience. You know that power, not anchored in purpose, corrodes the soul. The mantle forward is not about proving that you deserve your place. It is about proving that you understand its weight. Leadership in the kingdom is servanthood disguised as glory. You are called to wash feet, not to seek thrones, to listen to the broken, not to demand loyalty, to restore what was ruined, not to rule over it. Chosen one, as you walk now, the world will recognize something different in you. The fire that once purified you now glows through you. Your words will carry authority because they carry empathy. Your silence will speak louder than speeches because it is filled with peace. The mantle is alive. It breathes. It moves. It comforts. It is heaven's presence stitched into purpose. This new chapter will not be easier, but it will be richer. You will wake each day with a quiet awareness that your life is no longer your own. It belongs to every life your obedience will touch. And in that realization, you will find joy, the kind that cannot be shaken. The mantle is not heavy when you walk in rhythm with grace. Carry it gently, but firmly. Let it remind you that being chosen was never about rising above. It was always about reaching deeper, lifting others, and reflecting the one who sent you. When you look back now, chosen one, the journey feels like a mosaic, pieces of pain and beauty fitted together by unseen hands. What once seemed fragmented now forms a masterpiece. Every betrayal became a lesson in discernment. Every delay became a teacher of patience. Every storm carved wisdom into your soul. You are no longer who you were when the story began. The very path that tried to break you became the ground that built you. You can finally see it. None of it was wasted. Even the tears had purpose. The lonely nights were classrooms. The wilderness was your sanctuary. And every door that closed was heaven's way of guiding your steps toward the one that would open at the right time. Now, as you stand in the fullness of divine purpose, you realize that your story was not about survival, it was about transformation. The legacy of the reserved seat is not in the crown or the recognition, but in what it awakened inside you. You have learned to trust the silence, to embrace the refining, to walk in alignment rather than ambition. You have learned that being chosen does not make you greater, it makes you responsible, and responsibility is the truest form of honor. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, 2nd book, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Now you understand that every moment of pain was producing glory weight, substance, endurance that cannot be shaken. You are stronger, softer, wiser. You move differently now, not from fear, but from fullness. The winds that once threatened you now bow to your calm. The shadows that once haunted you now flee from your light. Your legacy will not be built on words alone, but on presence, on how your life makes others feel when they encounter you. You will not need to tell people you are chosen. They will know by the way you love, the way you forgive, the way you carry peace even in storms. That is the fragrance of divine identity. Look back once more. Remember the moments you nearly gave up, the times you questioned whether heaven had forgotten you, the nights when hope felt like a fragile thread. All of that led here to this deep knowing that you were never abandoned. You were being shaped. Every not yet was a sacred delay preparing you for now. The legacy of the reserved seat is endurance. It is the story of one who stayed when leaving would have been easier. One who believed when logic said, stop. One who refused to let disappointment define destiny. That kind of faith does not fade. It becomes inheritance. Generations after you will walk in the fruit of your steadfastness. And yet, even as glory surrounds you, humility anchors you. You do not see yourself as a conqueror standing above others, but as a light walking among them. You carry the memory of every struggle like a song, a melody that reminds you where you came from and who sustained you along the way. The seat you reclaimed is not a throne of comfort, it is a station of service. From it, you will lift others who are still wandering, still doubting, still sitting in the shadows you once knew so well. You will remind them that their delay is not denial, that what was promised will find them when they are ready to carry it. There is a quiet kind of power in your presence now. You do not chase, you attract. You do not fight, you flow. You do not strive, you stand. The authority you carry was not earned by force, it was entrusted through faithfulness. That is what makes it eternal. And when you speak, your words will not only comfort, they will awaken. You will become a living prophecy for those who have forgotten their worth. Your journey will echo through them, whispering, "If God reserved their seat, He has surely reserved yours." So take a moment and breathe. Chosen one, feel the stillness of completion, the peace of knowing you have endured and emerged whole. This is not an ending, it is a beginning that will ripple beyond your lifetime. The story that once felt heavy will now carry others. The same grace that found you will find them through you. And long after your name is spoken for the last time on earth, your light will remain in motion in the kindness you gave, the faith you lived, the courage you carried. That is the legacy of the reserved seat, to leave behind not fame, but faith, not noise, but light, not pride, but presence. Heaven smiles, knowing you have understood. You were never forgotten, never replaced, never lost. You were chosen all along, refined, restored, and released to shine. And now, below chosen one, the story comes full circle. You have walked through the valley and stood upon the mountain. You have felt the sting of rejection and the warmth of restoration. Every section of this journey was not a script, it was a mirror. It reflected your resilience, your growth, your divine remembrance. Heaven never wrote you out of the story. It was simply turning the page. Now, as you close this chapter, pause and breathe. Let gratitude fill your chest like morning light. The seat that was reserved for you has been reclaimed. You carry more than victory. You carry vision. You have become living proof that divine timing is real and that no force on earth can undo what heaven ordains. If these words found a home in your spirit, let this be your moment of connection. Like this message, if you felt heaven whisper through it, it's not about numbers, it's about acknowledgement. A small light saying, "I was here, I received this." Now, share this story with someone who needs to be reminded that their seat, too, is still waiting. Your act of sharing could be the spark that pulls another soul out of despair and into remembrance. Leave a comment, a reflection, a word of gratitude, or even one simple truth you've learned through this series. Each comment becomes part of a living testimony, a ripple of faith echoing through the world. And if your heart feels stirred, subscribe to stay connected. This isn't just a channel, it's a sanctuary for chosen ones across the earth. A circle of light where destiny awakens again and again. You are not alone. You are chosen, seen, and called for such a time as this.